What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis coming to y'all with that analysis. We're gonna talk about the Six Man of the Year award that people feel like it really ain't no conversation just because Jordan Clarkson got off to a great start, helped the Utah Jazz exceed expectations this year. And even though I have always been an advocate of Jordan Clarkson, I always felt like he was a good player. Even when he went undrafted, even when he was with the Lakers, I felt like he had some talent. He had longevity in the league potentially, and he has had that so far. And even secured him a decently paid contract with Utah. And I feel like they made a good move getting him. And he proved me right this year, and hopefully he can continue to do that. His biggest flaw was that he was a guy that was fearless. He was a guy that took a lot of shots. A lot of them was tough. A lot of them was crazy. But you didn't, hate him because you need guys that's aggressive. You need guys that can put, pressure on defenses. And Jordan Clarkson to come out, he knows what his game is. He knows what he brings to the table. And, he just goes out there and plays his game. And any team that got that got some energy. They got some fight. And you need guys like that. The best part about him is the efficiency. This year, he's not just throwing up tough shots and bricking them. He's actually making everything that he shoots, and he has done that throughout the whole year. And it has been what Utah needed. They needed scoring. They needed a guy that can create his own shot, that can also play off the ball. And I felt like that last year, and he took his game to another level this year. And people didn't see that coming, but I'm glad that he did. If I had to pick somebody for Six Man of the Year, it would be Jordan Clarkson. I'm in the consensus with everybody else, but this is an award that usually is made for scorers. This is an award that's usually made for guys that can get buckets. And Jordan Clarkson has done that throughout his entire career. He just had a bigger role in a team, and he has finally, secured him, one of his best seasons in his career, and actually a good season um, for his career because a lot of people didn't think this would be possible for him. A lot of people didn't see this happening, and I think he should be rewarded with this award. But there's a couple guys this year. Chris Boucher, before he went down with injuries, a guy that people didn't think was that good either. People thought he was a rotation player, and he showed that he probably should have been a starter for the Toronto Raptors, knocking down threes and trying to be a solid rotation defender and rebounding at a decent level with the minutes he's given. And I feel like Chris Boucher took the advantage of the opportunity. Serge Ibaka's gone, Marcus Gasol is gone, and they needed somebody that can, do some versatile things. And I feel like Boucher showed us a lot of everything that he can do. And I think that this was a year that really helped his career. This is going to help him secure a good contract. This can secure, him probably a bigger role with another team or with Toronto. And that's what you want to see. You want to see guys playing their best basketball. You want to see guys get better. You want to see guys grow as players. And I think Chris Boucher has embodied all those things alongside Jordan Clarkson. It just, he got his season cut short. I feel like Tim Hardaway Jr. I have been a guy that liked him for a long time, and he has accepted coming off the bench for the Dallas Mavericks, and it has worked successfully. He gets buckets. He obviously had a huge game not that long ago, and he has been efficient from three pretty much the entire year. And, I think the best part about him is they let him shine. Just like the other guy I have on his list, Jalen Brunson. These guys come at you. These guys are put on the court to play their game and get buckets. And I feel like Jalen Brunson has been efficient, shooting well above what I thought he would shoot because he's not the most athletic guy, not the best shooter, but he has found a way to balance those things out pretty consistently this year. No, and they need him to be in attack mode because he's a guy that can play with Luka and play without Luka, and him and Hardaway just go at you. Them as a duo has really made Dallas bench special. And it was a weak point to people this year, but they have proved that to be false. And we knew that this team had a lot of offensive power, even though it wasn't what we seen last year. But they have been fantastic coming off the bench. And if it wasn't for Jordan Clarkson having the season that he had, they probably would be in the conversation for the winner of this award. That's how good Tim Hardaway and Jalen Brunson have been this entire year. So I like the fact that Brunson has been um, playing above his weight too. I like the fact that Tim Hardaway Jr. is comfortable in his own skin and knows what he brings to the table and has found a role and has found a position and possibly a team even in the future. You might not get paid as much as he's getting paid now, but he also probably has 3, 4, 5 more years of teams being very interested in his talents because of what he showcased this year in Dallas. And we know when you look at him as a guy that should be a starter when you look at him in New York, but it never really comes full circle for him. And I think that he's fine with that now, and that can give him longevity in his career. So I think that's good for him. I think you have to put Montrezl Harrell in there. He definitely has been good for the Lakers when LeBron and AD went out, and we knew what he can be capable of. He just won the award last year. He took a lot of the blame for the Clippers playoff drought, and he deserves some of it because it was because of his defense and his play. And he took that loss and he moved forward with the rival Lakers, and he has been productive. He's getting great rebounds in his minutes, producing double digit points, and has been an energizer bunny as always. And even though he's undersized, even though he's not the greatest defender, he has, excelled in what he does best. And that's what he has done his entire career. And he has to be in the conversation for this award again. And you have to give him credit on that. I feel like another guy that you can bring into this is Norman Powell. He has been spectacular this year. It's going to be hard to judge how much money he should get paid. A lot of people seen him as a guy that Portland shouldn't trade for because they seen the guys they gave up for him. But Powell has been a double digit scorer. He has been an aggro player, and he has fit pretty well with CJ and Dame and allows them to go small. And when they're off or somebody gets injured, he gives them a guy that can go off for 20, 25 points or more. And that's something that they didn't have consistently, and that's something that he brings to the table. And even though the Portland Trailblazer hasn't been as good as they should be talent wise on paper, um, Norman Powell has been pretty decent. And when I look at this award, is usually the guy that scores the most points, and you can obviously say that's the same case this year with Jordan Clarkson. But I feel like it hasn't really been any crazy scoring. Ain't nobody averaging 20 off the bench or 19 off the bench. But Jordan Clarkson, for him to take his game to a level that some people thought he would never reach. It has to be just a reward for him as a player, his testament to his game, and it's good to see him, produce at this level. And even though you can see him with the Lakers being a guy that can be, a double-digit scorer, but for him to eventually become a great three-point shooter on and off the ball, even off the dribble, and be efficient at it, that's just a huge hit for his career. Just because that's just something people thought that he wasn't. We knew that Jordan Clarkson can get you buckets, but people just didn't think he can do it at an efficient level, especially from all over the court. He's hitting mid range, he's finishing, he's in threes, he's a good free throw shooter, and he's been unselfish. He hasn't been this ball hog guy that's just, jacking them up. He has played within the team. He has played when they needed him to take over. And this is the Jordan Clarkson that is the best. This is the best version we have seen him at. And I do think that this is good for him, but it's also good for the Jazz because when you pick him up, he has exceeded his contract, honestly. And that's what you want to see a guy do, especially when you feel like he can be a big part of your team. And that's why you want to resign him. So the Jazz has had a fantastic season, and Jordan Clarkson is a huge part of that. And it's good to see him, finally get recognized for, more than just being a volume scorer. And he has put that to rest this year. Hopefully, he can continue to do it. Hopefully, he can, take his game to another level because the Jazz are going to be locked into this team long term, and they're going to need guys, to continue to outperform their contract. I also will bring up Joe Ingles. He has been fantastic off the bench, still being a great playmaker, still being able to knock down the threes, still knowing when to float, knowing when to pass up a shot, knowing when to get the hockey assist. You have to put him in this conversation too. That's why they bring him up. and he has been the perfect complementary player to Gobert, Conley, and also Donovan Mitchell, and sometimes even Jordan Clarkson on the court. And Joe Ingles is a guy that was a starter, was a big part of what they do, but he still is, even though he doesn't have as huge of a role. He's fine with it. He's cool with it, and he has excelled in that role also. And I think he has had a fantastic season. And other than that, let me know who I miss, who I underrated, who I overrated, who you think is the award winner. And at the end of the day, Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, I'm gone. And hopefully I can come to y'all with another video on Tuesday. Other than that, hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of y'all day. See y'all tomorrow.